근데 저 귀족 똘마니들은 일을 제대로 못하니까 너네는 겁 좀 먹으라는 것 같은데. 오, 카리스마 있는데요? 그러니까 폭군 느낌은 확실히 아니고.
Come now, father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujitz parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together.
벤체슬라스도 어떤지 한번 보고 싶은데 솔직히 왕은 제가 차라리 나을 것 같기도
The
한데.
Gutenberg rabbi.
Yeah,
지그스문트.
he came with a retinue. But for now, they keep him mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome
벤체슬라스는
someone.
뭐
After all, this used to be
술주정뱅이라고
your
하던데.
home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Mal?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and he's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
그러니까 그 반지도 그렇고. 여기 가문이었구나.
I'm glad you finally accepted.
One beer!
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never...
So, Be so kind as to enlighten me.
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due to my acquaintances in a court that I escaped execution.
Oh?
고두이는 아래초? 아래초 처음 들어보는데요. 뭐 요상한 소리 나는 거 아니야? 아래초가 아니고 그거 어디였더라? 자주 언급되는 데 있었는데 아래초는 아닌 것 같아요. 저 처음 들어보는 것 같아서.
I thought it was Henry who saved your neck.
My neck was not at risk in Malishov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted, but they never broke my spirit.
뭐였더라?
You say you're a poet. How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan, and if you are interested in my greatest deed, then...
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
뭔가 수상한 것 같기도 하고 아닌 것 같기도 하고. 새로운 인물만 나오는 건가 여기? 라드지. 고대인 무슨 전투였더라? 기억이 안 나요.
Such rare guests.
아, 코소보
One
맞아요.
wouldn't expect to
코소보.
find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet,
How do you know I'm a priest?
it's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common.
네, 그래가지고 지슈카였나? 저 누군지는 잘 모르겠는데 아무튼 그 전투에 참여한 다른 애가 또 있긴 있었어요.
Leader of the rabbinical court in
그래서
the sacred
고도인이랑
community
같은
of
그거였네.
Gutenberg.
저 그렇게 그거
And this is
그 말할 때
Samuel, my
고도인
aide.
생각났었거든요.
Who would rather not be here at all? Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this. And why would they not stare?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry, that messenger of Radzik Copula.
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
Or maybe you'll get to know each other better. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of
설마?
someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world.
마틴?
For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he
Huh?
fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children.
뭐지?
At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on
맞네.
the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A
아니,
person can't
마틴은
choose their
골
parents.
때리네.
And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink.
그러니까
Zayde.
진짜 자기 자식은 두고 남의 자식을 키운 거잖아요. 이게 뭐야? 그러면 뭐 어떻게 되는 거야? 피가 섞이지 않았으니까 뭐 이복 형제 뭐 그런 건 아니고 뭐가 어떻게 되는 거지? 양아버지의 친아들 형제인 거야 이러면?
Good health.
L'chaim.
양아버지 친아들과 양아버지 아들. 뭐 어찌 보면 형제라면 형제인데.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here too he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
겨울이 되면 근데 왜 물러난다는 거야? 개판이구만 여기가 아주. 지그스문트가 진짜 카리스마 있었네. 걔였으면은 너는 진짜 여기 공포로 애들 여기 이제 분위기 잡을 거야.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
근데 원래 정치는 개처럼 하는 게 맞는 것 같은데 일단 왕한테 못 깨기게 왕의 힘이 센 게
Just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone.
By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. That's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings.
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. At a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion, even
변장이라니. 변장을
Like
어떻게 해요, 이
in
시대에.
parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome, because it would mean slow but certain defeat for all of us.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Bocek of Kunstad. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
일단 저장 한번 해보자.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek, and he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe. I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
We'll talk later and in private. Right now we have more important things to attend to.
Don't try my patience.
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested
Cheeky
in wenches
bricky.
and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopry to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Older.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
뭐야 이건 또.
I'm not happy about it. But I accept.
나이차 꽤 나
This
보이는데?
isn't how I imagined my first
형
meeting
이게
with my
형제야?
brother.
나이차 꽤 많이 나는 형제야?
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back. Not bad for a priest.
Stand firm. Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arse. Look in my eyes, not at my sword. Cover your right side. You've got a gap that I can drive a cart through.
Did they teach you that in the seminary?
상좌장.
What's wrong with your legs?
Did they teach you that in the seminary? That was sneaky. That!
You don't know which end of that thing is up.
Fuck! You're fast. That was sneaky. Oh!
Just your wrist!
That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
I've got to get him on our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into action.
After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
Do I have any choice?
If it's really that important, you don't.
선택 거절하는 방법이 없네.
You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
뭐 그래도 얘는 되게 철없는 애는 아니네. 뭐야 이거.
Mind where you're going.
뭐야 이씨 위로 올라가니까 내려가라고 하고 내려가니까 위로 올라가라.
Women, sure, happy to help them. When it comes to me, he don't give a fuck.
It always did seem strange to me.
He's a fucking
Sir Kunzlin.
You're Godwin, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Have no fear. I know Martin well, and I know he's pro.
Will you support Margrave Jobst's plan?
That depends on what it is. If he decides to just wait, then no. I can't take that risk any longer.
Do you think we should look for help?
I came here for one reason alone. If Jobst doesn't lay one out before me...
I expect you know Lady Anna of Waldstein well.
Why wouldn't I? She's joined at the hip with my daughter.
I hope she doesn't feel unwelcome here. I've heard she's a bit of a thorn in the side.
To her own relatives, certainly. But I'll tell you one thing. I knew her husband, Wenzel, and he married her out of love. And I cared for him devotedly till the day he died.
So it's not true what they say?
Vile slander. People just can't forgive her for coming in.
What do you think of the rabbi's offer? The Kuttenberg Jewish community is large.
Or nothing. To be honest, I've no...
He said he was interested in an...
Aye, but still he must be aware that whatever happens...
So you don't trust him?
And isn't it natural? It's not just faith in the walls of their quarter that they live in our city, but they're more foreign than the Germans or the Hungarians. God be with you.
Innkeeper, a beer!
한 칸 아래 있다고 나오는데? 아닌데? 얘인데? 아니네?
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
How do you know Liechtenstein is behind it?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly have doubts about the Margrave's plans. But they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein, on the contrary, sees his opportunity.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor in return.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
Have you fallen out with the Town Councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
I'm supposed to rob an ally.
Harman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
How are you getting on?
Aside from the happy family reunion, everything is going according...
I'd almost forgotten about that little...
Father is getting old.
Keep it up. We've still got a lot of work. Just don't overdo it with the wine.
The journey itself is great. They're trying to do one thing.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobs comes up with a plan.
할래는 뭐 바로 옆에서 대놓고 훔쳐도
And now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself.
그게
If you were in
뭐가
my
하나지?
position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
저는 어떻습니까? 씨. 케이폰?
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund. Yitka could end up being a pawn to blackmail both of us.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over Rattay and seems quite happy with that state of affairs. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
So, will you support our plan?
You're selling the skin of a boar that's still grunting. First, I want a confirmation that the wedding will take place as soon as possible.
And what if Lord Capon refuses?
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a to tie a knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
이거 저장 한번 할 걸. 저는 어떻습니까? 대사 한번 듣고 싶었는데. 얘는 저장이 안 되는구나. 32분? 아우 씨 한참 해야 돼 이거.
You seem a bit out of sorts.
Oh, these grand aristocratic assemblies are nothing for me. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all went and what my boys have to do next.
But then you'd miss all the grub and the booze. And the gossip.
Oh, and have you heard
근데
anything
뭐
interesting
서로 마음에 안
here?
들어 할 수도 있으니까.
It seems Liechtenstein's looking for allies. For his own end.
And how's he gonna do it? Didn't you see them all fighting tooth and nail here just to...
Well, different approaches.
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is open resistance. Maybe on the field of battle?
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while longer.
That's one thing you can always count on him for.
God forbid. Henry's not here now to pull up.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace himself.
A lot of people think the wealthy burghers will stick with Sigismund, whether out of fear.
No, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has the city council under his thumb.
Well, at least there's a few individuals here.
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his... Not to mention that his son was killed in the siege of the city.
Christ! Hold up. Good day to you.
경비병 새끼들이 경비는 안 보고 여기서 주사위 놀이하고 있네.
Take a look at that.
Greetings.
Aren't you a bit bored?
What's your problem? The horses are fed and watered?
God forbid. But standing around here must be a...
Not really.
Shall we roll some dice?
Well, all right. I'll wait at the table over there.
어디 갔어? 주사위 한 판 하자고 했는데. 아, 여기 있구나. 한 판 하자. 의심 안 사야 되니까.
Maybe you're not playing for the first time, but you can't beat me. Alright, that'll do. Here.
생주사위면은 사기당할 확률이 좀 높긴 한데. 가자. 가자. 여기서 설마 11 막 이런 거 나오는 건 아니겠지? 그만해라 이거.
Your turn.
끝 안 나면 사기지. 아. 오케이.
Good game, friend. The money's yours.
잘 있어. 아너 씨랑 얘기하네. 헨리랑도 얘기해야 되잖아.
I've got some good news and some bad news for you.
The bad news is there's hardly any females in this whole damned place. There's some old bat standing there with two young girls, but she watches over them like a mother hen. So at least tell me the good news.
You're going to get married.
Good one. Is she at least pretty?
본 적이 없대.
I've never seen her.
You're really a barrel of laughs. Wait till Hannah hears this. Now, enough nonsense. Let's have a drink
농담
to
아닌데.
your health and my freedom.
To your health.
농담 아니야. 얼굴 모르는데 너 결혼해야 돼. 이쁘길 기도하자고.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
Milady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
아, 서류 한번 읽어볼 걸.
I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health, Lady Anna.
And to the success of our efforts.
저거 한번 저 읽어 내용을 한번 보고 뭘 했었어야 되는데 너무 도와주는 거요? 근데 저거에 자기한테 치명적인 약점이 되니까 뭐 진짜 일종의 그냥 거래로 도와주는 게 아닌가. 여기는 그게 넘어가면은 자기는 지글스문트 걔네들한테 그거 돈을 뭐 아무튼 거래를 한 게 되니까.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
I've gained us a powerful ally.
And who is it? I hope it's not one of those Kuttenberg stuffed guts.
On the contrary, it's Bocek, the Elder of Kunstadt and Podjebrad.
Kunstadt? By Christ, he's the last one I'd have expected to step up. How the hell did you do it?
Well, there's one little catch. I had to promise him... I don't even know how to begin.
Out with it.
Lord Kunstadt has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord Capon, with your blessing if you agree.
Hans Capon is to marry Yitka of Kunstadt. Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could
좋아하네.
make the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it.
얘는 근데 상대방을 알게 돼서라기보다 가문을 보는
I
거
want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
말해줬는데 이미.
Cheers!
Cheers to you and to your parlaying skills.
We mustn't push.
Sir Bocek,
이쁘길
your
바래야겠네.
niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
너무 맛있는데 이거.
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
저장할 수 있는 시점 되면은 한번 돌려봐야겠다. 돌린 다음에 대사 스킵하고 쟤한테 저 마법 간지기를 첫 번째로 하면은 서류 내용만 볼 수 있을 것 같긴 한데.
I'm still hoping it works out and we walk out of here with a clear plan. But
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our
취했네.
goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwyn of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I...
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes. Yeah. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
케이폰 표정
My
한번
niece,
보고
Yitka,
싶은데.
will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
미안하다 한스야.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately.
널 팔아야 해.
God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
뭐 그래 예쁘겠지. 근데 얘는 예쁜 게 문제가 아니고 좀 방탕한 놈이라. 표정 봐. 이거 얘 결혼 안 시키는 그거도 있으려나?
After we conquered,
와, 여기서도 저장을 안 하네.
you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere. Point them to the Jewish quarter and give them free rein. To do anything.
아니네, 이 새끼
The city's Jewish
쓰레기였네.
community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rabble get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylanders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in
감설도장
the forest.
맨하르트?
I
그게
apologize, sire.
무슨 뭐예요?
I'll do everything
그런
in my
퀘스트가
power
있어요?
to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate...
어디 있는 퀘스트예요?
He will make
탐구하고
sure
있는
you
건가요?
finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated.
퀘스트 마크 떠 있는
But that
퀘스트였어요?
is
제가
over
쿠탄복을 지금 안 한 게 한
You
두
were given
개인가
a few
있긴 한데
simple
써볼게.
tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets.
저는 일단 아직은
And
못
let the
해본 것
traitors
같아요.
cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else.
애들 다 쫄았네.
The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become...
아 그럼 진짜 한 헨리한테는
And we
그냥
still wish to
가정하네.
speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt.
일단 저장됐으니까 이거 잠깐만 돌아가 볼게요. 이거 어디서부터인가 이거? 맞네. 지지 얻는 거부터니까 얘잖아요.
God be there.
God be
you.
No,
Monty.
I should. Or that.
How do
I know, but they. Well, it's not.
Then you.
So
Nothing.
nothing
It's you.
there. If you.
Do you have?
Well, Harmon. Now.
Have you?
No, they're and the
And the.
my red.
You were.
They were not.
I'm
Harmon. He has.
And the.
Just.
All right.
I'll bring them. But what?
이거 받고. 애초에 저 위조문서는 못 읽네. 이거도 확인 한번 해보자.
Sabocek.
A man, huh? Yobs, does that... You... I need... You can... I have an eye...
So you...
If...
Maybe...
Perhaps...
be honored to oblige. I'm in my prime.
Forget about it. Even if by some miracle you could manage to sire children, you'd die before you could raise them.
아, K-폰 말고 선택지가 없네 이거.
Maybe you're right.
No man of any, but it's especially true for you. On the other hand, maybe
이거도 거절 선택지 자체가 없는 것 같은데 느낌이. 무조건 결혼시킬 수밖에 없는 것 같은데. 그러게요. 너 같은 늙은이가 뭐 어쩌저쩌 이러지.
What's your cut? Not. Well, I'll wait.
아 이거 근데 못 보네 이거. 수상한 거래를 했으면 증명하는 문서 그냥 이렇게가 다네. 아니면은
I'll tell you, nobody has.
I'd like to check your...
And you might.
Well, you want. I want to. Well,
I
for interrupting.
Is that
I came.
Why 20? I got only. And but he tries. You have.
You're
Me? You're.
That's it.
Christopher.
You won't get.
I refuse to fight.
You've got no other option.
Gentlemen, I can have a word in.
Out of the question. And he's got.
You want Sergio?
After you.
Well,
Shouldn't we?
no.
Make room for us.
이거도 무조건 싸우는구나. 오케이. 일단 제가 보고 싶은 건 다 본 것 같네요. 여기에서의 선택지는 그렇게 막 중요한 건 없는 것 같아요. 무조건 어느 선택지를 고르든 한 가지 길로 가는 것 같은데.
Was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
근데 여기선 또 너무 모질게 하지 않았냐 그러면서 뭐 좀 모르겠네 이거. 모르겠다 이 새끼 진짜 나쁜 새끼인지 아닌지. 나 아까 유대인 지역에다가 자기 사람 뿌려가지고 걔네들 조지려고 하는 거 보면 그런 거 보면 또 나쁜 놈인데.
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal.
그래도 궁금한 게 하나 있는데 얼굴에서 알짱되면은 알아차리는 그런 이벤트가 있을지.
If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas reign brought us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish.
그런 건 없나?
God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities. And get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king. You did a good job, waiter. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, Your Majesty.
뭔가 근데 아무튼 근데 정작 얘가
We need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
왕이 돼서 정말 질서가 안정됐을 때는 그 일반 백성들한테는 잘해줄 것 같기도 하고.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odelin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosh falls...
잘못 집었는데 이게 되네.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
얘네 아직 소식 못 들은 건가?
Here to the square and pointed at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
확실히 근데 백성들한테는 일반 백성 시민들한테는 잘해주는 것 같은데 얘. 귀족들이야 자기 말도 안 듣고 하라는 일도 제대로 못하니까 저렇게 화내는 거지.
Marrying the young Lord of Kirkstein.
Must be maiden in her crew. Parish priest has come to view. Sweating at the altar. Nearly drops his soul.
I bet you made it all up
Hallelujah.
anyway. I would just call you. Beggars. I'd rather eat.
아주 제대로 취했구나.
You in need of something, my well-oiled friend.
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Not a bit. I'm just a cynical old pragmatist.
In that case, in quite simple and pragmatic terms, the wine has run out.
Fuck.
I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt.
We came here for the feast anyway.
Don't complain. I haven't eaten. Holy guardian and protector of my
아주
soul
난리
and
나네.
body, forgive me every transgression which I have committed this day, and deliver me from every craft of my enemy and adversary. May I not anger my God by any sin. The Lord Almighty God is
Girls? Oh, the piglet! And then you will wake up in a ditch somewhere with a hangover.
How'd you like her wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition. Recipes are passed on from father to... I myself was practically raised on wine. Even the French royal court, the king himself had wine delivered for his table.
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled out.
Best barrels! This wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for
Baron Vaku Voku.
Do you get it, Father?
Please, call me Rabbi, Lord Capon.
Oh, whatever. Fuck it.
And you should not curse either.
See, you talk exactly the same as our holier-than-thous.
What is bothering you, young man? You should rejoice that you are to be married.
But I didn't ask for a wife.
누가 바뀌었어?
Wanted to prove that I was worthy of the name of my house. Earn a reputation. Travel the world. And maybe later, one day...
Then you might be dead, sir. Think about the future. You need an heir.
But they could have at least asked me. What if she's some ugly monster?
Then she will be a rich monster. And God willing, the children will take after you.
Anyway, I need more wine to wash down my pain. Will you drink with me?
I shall not, son. Intemperance is against God's
재밌네. 이게 뭐야?
so
이거.
much dust.
Sorry, have you got some time to spare?
From cleaning up this pigsty? Anytime.
I need help with something. Do you know where I might be able to find the wine pitchers? I mean the ones with the really good ones.
And you're one of those?
I should say so.
And I'm the king's daughter. Anyway, I don't know nothing about no wine. Try asking my ma.
I've come to rescue you from work.
Really?
Well, it occurred to me we could maybe spend a little time together.
Of course. What else? Do you play dice?
You mean strip dice?
You strip if you like.
Either way, you'll end up bare-assed and with an empty purse.
All right. Let's have a game.
I've heard about you, but you can't beat me.
손을 덜덜덜덜 떠는데. 고도인이 방구 자꾸 끼는 것 같은데 이거. 1편 해보시면 아는데 전혀 신분 아닙니다. 술 좋아하고 그 몸파는 애들이나 술집 여자들 막 불러가지고 막 술 진탕 마시고 아무튼 막장이에요.
Now I'll show you how it's done. Just like that.
오케이.
What a disaster again.
야, 이 똥 싼 거 아니야, 얘?
Everybody likes a drop of white.
포도주 이거구나. 잠깐만, 일단 얘기를 먼저 좀 하고 가야겠는데.
Right. Conrad, my friend, you'll vouch for me.
I see 4 hooves,
Good day.
a mane, and a tail. And I say...
May I interrupt you for a You already did.
What's the matter?
이건 또 왜?
Everyone keeps saying that the prick... I didn't believe it. What are you blabbering about?
Haven't you had a little...
Not at all. I could drink every man here...
No need. I believe you.
Stop bothering us and go.
이게 고도인입니다.
Life depends on your steed. Some easily
여태 양반인 것만 보여줬는데 이게 고도인이에요.
Are you being cautious or cowardly?
Jesus Christ be praised. Can't tell by the name that the horse is immense.
아이고 이분은
Good evening, my esteemed lady.
No matter. I know who you are, although Martin hardly spoke of you. From what I heard,
Would you kindly introduce your 2 companions?
This is Lady Christina, second wife of Lord Binic of Nostitz. She's standing in for him here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come your husband didn't...
Because he's been rotting for nearly a year in the king's captivity.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mom.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word of his... Perhaps worldly powers will come to our aid once the promised army turns.
What's your opinion of the oak?
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like everyone here would carry on. But in the end, it seems the agreement...
It's been a pleasure.
And this here is Lady Helena of Dvorets, my niece and ward.
God be with you, sir.
아이고
Please
두
excuse
분
her.
다 좀
This is her first time at such a...
You're fortunate, miss. Your aunt sets you a good example.
Yes. Lady Matilda has always kept a close...
And I know what I'm doing. Don't think I'm not aware of how some fellows look.
Are you well acquainted with our home?
Only a little. Sir Martin Oderin and his son have been to visit at Lady Mid.
They come to me for advice on selecting horses.
PC라기보다 그냥 진짜 못생긴 부인이랑 뭐 조카를 가진 것
About to
같아요.
everyone here would have cost him twice as much.
조용한 고스톱 발전하는 할머니한테? 잠깐만. 얘 솔직히 뭐 나오진 않겠지. 헛소리 하는 거 듣고 싶긴 한데 한번 해보자.
It's rather noisy here for my taste. If your worthy aunt has no objections, I'd gladly.
할머니한테 얘기하는 게 아니었구나.
Well, Auntie?
Restrain your ardor. You're not the first to try and lure my girls somewhere out of my sight.
수두룩하다고? 거짓말하지 마.
I insist on being present, or you may be on your way.
보는 자리에서 고도인은 그 가능할 텐데.
And while you're on your way, we're quite thirsty from all this constant chit-chat.
Do I look like a servant to you?
No, but surely you wouldn't leave these young ladies to suffer thirst. Be so kind and bring us another pitcher of wine. I don't know what's in those kegs, and I don't intend to try it out.
You're changing the subject.
Having a good time? There's a fucking bore. These old farts here have no idea.
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food, even a few females worth the same.
I'd rather have a game of dice.
Well, let's have a game then. But for what?
For coin.
Playing for coins a bore.
Well, I might have something. But you'll have to bet at least 20.
And what might...
Let's keep it a surprise.
Oh.
What the hell?
You bet it will.
이 주사위였네 이거. 쌈박질인 줄. 오호. 이거 지금 얘도 술 먹으면 뭐더라? 주사위 뭐 잘 나오는 뭐 그런 거 뭐 있었던 것 같기도 하고. 그런 거 있나 본데. 굉장히 패가 잘 나오는데요. 타짠데. 쟤는 당근 이런 개새.
You can dip that rotten carrot in lard and run it up your dry arse.
I was just having a laugh with you. Lighten up a bit, eh? But if you don't like your prize, hand it over here.
Here you are. Not much use to me.
You've got no imagination. It's not for eating. Like I could shove it down the back of the cousin's shirt.
진짜 웃기네.
Any ulterior motives? I am far too old for some sentimental.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? Raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that?
All hail Yobst! He sorted out things here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I wanted to give him. But you know how it goes. Give them a finger. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanush where the wedding will take place?
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle, Potstein, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here, and that still wouldn't be much.
But there are 2 castles in Rattay. I'd bet my right arm old Hanush will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Rattay? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger.
But you can hardly stand straight, Martin.
The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rudart. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he's coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
문 열어주면 안 될 것 같은데. 근데 아니야?
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
콤베르 고프인데? 조졌다.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
아 그래도 지슈카랑 마른 악마 이런 애들인데 지진 않겠지 너네?
Now you're gonna get it! Jesus! The surrounding... He can't make it on his own.
Now you're good! I still can't quite do that!
Jesus! The surrounding Christopher! He can't make it on his own.
No mercy!
Bash him on the head! Get him! Stand your ground! Blood! Yes!
Those horses out hurt, yeah! Ah! Had it! Are you waiting for me to die? Coward!
헨리. 야 근데 이게 공교롭게도 이게 걔가 혹시 지그스문트 알고 있었던 건 아닐까? 왜 붙잡고 있었을까?
I should go back.
You're dead.
Slice him up!
Got him!
Right between the eyes!
You got him! Bash him on the head!
Surprise, then! Don't rubber! Get ready to go ahead!
You'll be... fucking sorry. Here, horse, I need a bun.
동생을 구했다?
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me.
Do my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but...
그리고 일단 살만한 애들은 다 살았네.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
I was standing a few steps from von Aulitz when he told Sigismund I was pouring them wine, and had to listen to how Sigismund was going to give him Raborsch. It was a horrible feeling, not being able to do anything about it.
And what could you possibly do?
Kill them. Both of them.
My fingers would itch too. Was there any knife lying around? Or at least a fork?
Do you know what that would cause?
The war would end.
But at what cost? After Sigismund's death, his army would be cut loose. They'd ransack the city and kill anyone in their way.
Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn up.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat. Trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones.
근데 걔네들은 무장하고 얘는
They'll be afraid to
안 한
even peep against
상태였어가지고
Sigismund.
거기다 갑옷이랑 이런 거 없어가지고 아마 썰리지 않았을까요?
Sigismund showed everyone what's coming for all who resist him.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it. I'll be with Christopher.
이름 있는 애 뒤진 애가 있나 한번 봐봐요. 공격자.
Maybe he'll come back.
이쪽 경비병. 이쪽. 공격자. 일단 그래도 이름 있는 애는 아무도 안 죽은 것 같긴 한데. 이쪽. 아니요. 마틸다가 아까 고드윈이랑 얘기했던 애 아닌가요? 안나 얘는 죽으면 안 되는 거 아닌가? 근데 이거는 얘네들은 뭐 지킬 수 있는 게 아닌 것 같은데. 지킬 수 있는 얘는 그냥 무조건 죽는 애들 같은데. 도전과제로 아들 동생 지키는 게 있는 거 보면은 뭐 동생만 끄고 있는 것 같기도 하고. 45분. 퀘스트는 한번 봐보자.
Jesus! The surrounded Christopher can't make it on his
아,
own.
얘가 그랬어.
No mercy!
그리고 몇 명은 여기 있었는데 쟤네들은 못 지키는 존인 것 같네요. 아까 그 시체로 누워있던 이름 있는 애들.
Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it. I'll be with Christopher.
왕의 조사.
Young, sturdy. Well,
You almost took Philip of Kunstadt.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
We can only hope.
연습실. 이 새끼 여기서 술 처먹고 있는데?
Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting...
Bien sûr.
Where is the name Brabant?
That is simple. My compatriot, one day, I shall tell you about my place of birth. Or would you rather hear how I say...
Arezzo.
And so it... On get out of paradise. And should... That was alors. My... And that, no doubt...
Thank you for telling...
At your service.
Luckery and Car...
En aucun cas. There's two great... Chiclet first, Le Gris, Evans, and if you...
말이 너무 많아.
Bien. As I say, the cow a blessed blade. So, that is how I... Used it. It was half of I later I could have...
아니요, 이게 첫 번째 세이브인데 그냥 그때 그냥 앞에 있는 놈 동생인지도 몰랐는데 앞에 바로 있었던 게 동생이었나 봐요. 그래서
Tell me quite then
걸로
of above the, but like
How
Living, I trap when I so yes, I bought it and for Victor's trip.
Survive?
Well, perhaps I can. I know. With I came because, but the FBI.
How could you?
And West Henry in foot.
What?
Oh, it was on the it's around, but
You.
man, and as I think, but what I say.
That is. But you were just.
I want it, but as I say, stick close to me.
매우 어려움도 이게 되네.
What happened?
Well,
Tell me what happened at.
a major setback and the.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oui, I suffered a combination.
You were in.
Of course.
와,
My
씨,
birthplace
뭐지?
gave me
왜
an
이렇게 말이
arrival
많아?
nose for
중요한
Paul.
인물인가?
That is, until I paid all the ships. Of course, he wronged, but my advice was so. I told
A sea voyage from France.
a risk, perhaps. A man must think.
Big storms. You should have tried the.
You are right, but that isn't the Africa. Just imagine. Remember this.
What was the hunting into?
We were out in the royal hunt. They had long been rumored. I set off after it. When I arrived, it turned I fell out of her face.
Christ almighty.
I did not. It was the hounds.
That's nonsense.
Oh.
Hunting dogs are trained to go after game. They'd never attack us. You must have made the mistake.
Well, normally that would be true, of course, but the ounce I was given had some. No doubt they gave me a misfortune like that, which could indeed.
뭔가 말하는 게 이
happen to
새끼 좀
anyone.
허풍
When we
많이
delivered
섞여
the
있는 것
overlords,
같은데.
we're
얘.
afraid I would ouch.
Thanks for sharing your. What do you think of our band?
Well, I cannot say I expect, but a man must.
What do you think of Zizk?
Le Chevalier Yann. Well, that takes a lot more.
아이 미친.
Can't get Catherine out of. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me.
But for my tastes, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat age.
That's not really what I meant.
Là est la question.
So do I.
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people.
What do you think of Sir Hinek?
Le diable sec.
You think so?
My instinct rarely.
How do you get on with Janosch and Adder?
Oh,
그래 얘는 뭔 다 하네.
once in Kuttenberg, I also had a servant who pretended not to understand, but he was wrong.
How do you get on with Sir Han?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced, and needless to say, Godwin and Jiska can also play. And that devil in press cloth.
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. In addition, he can play chess, and in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen.
What do you think of Kubienka?
A good warrior, but he has no...
I don't think he cares much.
And that is just the problem.
Tell me, how did the siege...
Ah, mon ami, poorly, poor. After all, I had to live up to my... I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for...
Only no...
Précisément. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved.
What other countries have...
In Italy, against the English. In the meantime, however, I can pass on some of my...
I'd like to learn...
Unfortunately, I can...
이거 이렇게 대화를 다 해야 기술 가르쳐 주는 게 생기네 이거. 기술 가르쳐주는 이건 검술 아닌가? 아닌가 모르겠다. 이게 보통 선택지가 기술이랑 그 스탯 올려주는 거랑 그 콤보 알려주는 거 있는데 콤보인지 스탯인지 모르겠네요. 좀. 이거 일단 살린 게 맞긴 할 텐데 이거. 어디
Already.
지슈. 아까 자기 동생 보러 간다 그랬는데 위에 올라가네. 싸움. 오든 아 크리스토퍼 오든이 여기 있네요.
But if you got yourself killed, it wouldn't have helped him.
Preaching again. Aren't you... a priest?
That's true. to get you into safety. You're the Lord of Raborsh now. Lord of Ruins. Leave that out. At least you survived. Do you think you can make it to Sukhdor?
I hope so.
All right. But Peter of Pisek is our ally. He'll surely let you stay there, at least until you get back on your feet.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes two of us.
Just tell him.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
그러게 얘네들은 근데
What does
진짜
that
뭐가
make us
되는 거야?
then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man,
형제도
it would be
아니고.
easier. But now that I know I will never see him.
I can tell you about him if you want. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. We need to get back into the city and get the people. Will you come with us, Henry?
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already?
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
Let's go then.
Borekata Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam.
마차 너무 느리지 않아?
Peresh, can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to get everyone out of there fast.
Bloody hell. I just got ailed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That Royd of Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
Samuel, how... What was the story with your mother and Martin?
Do you really want to talk about this right now?
Well, it may be the last chance we get. We could both be dead in a while.
All right. But like I said, I never actually knew Martin. He once came to Kuttenberg and fell in love with my mother. But she is the daughter of a rabbi. Obviously, she could not marry a goy.
And tonight, you will see why.
If you want, Mummy will surely tell you more. If we can get there in time.
Then we better hurry up.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
오, 엄청 많네. 이미 사건 다 터진 이유
What's the
아니야?
matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we get into the town then?
We will go through Sheol.
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town. One of them ends here.
Won't it collapse on our heads?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the passageway.
You killed our savior.
What did you just say?
Nothing, I'm just blabbering.
I dare you to say that again. Loud and clear.
You know what, sir? Just ignore me and be glad I'm here.
수호자를
You
주겠다는
up
게
front.
무슨 말이지?
Pick it up, little kurva. My arse is getting numb.
저는 근데 리히텐슈타인의 존이라는 애가 리히텐슈타인이라는 애의 그 똘마니 말하는 줄 알았거든요, 정보. 근데 저게 지역 이름이었나 보네요. 여태 얼굴 한번 안 비치는 게 너무 말이 안 되는 것 같아서. 스칼렛의 헨리 약간 이런 것 같은데.
If they manage to get all the way here, it is all over.
아 근데 다른 애들은 그래도 어떤 지역의 이름이어도 이름을 많이 부르길래 리히텐슈타인 뭐 요프 뭐신가 걔도 그렇고 뭐 이름이잖아요. 얘는 근데 왜 리히텐슈타인이라고 그러지? 여태 리히텐슈타인이 이름인 줄 알았는데 앞만 봐도 아직까지 걔 때문에 이 사단 났다고 하고 걔 실제로 존이라는 애가 여기 유대인 지역에 있었는데 얘를 말하는 게 맞는 것 같은데.
We have to go this way. Hopefully we'll find it quickly. I left a stack of my papers in the tavern. And if they fall into Sigismund's hands, people in other towns will die too.
Well, how can a few pieces of parchment be that important? And what do they contain, anyway?
Nothing very pleasant for the most part. Who hates who? Who could be blackmailed with what? Who's hiding where and why? In short, nothing I can afford to lose. Hopefully everything will be all right at the tavern. My stash is locked away, and Samuel's friends are guarding the place. But who knows what the situation is like in the streets now.
Are you afraid?
Me? Do you have any idea how many times I've had to run from a burning town or deal with a hired assassin?
More than once, I reckon.
A lot more, I can tell you. But I admit, I was afraid every single time. Damn it.
What's the matter?
The door leading up to the tavern is open. Samuel's men wouldn't have left it like this. Somebody else must have got in.
I think there's someone walking up there.
Go and check it out. If they took anything down here, they mustn't get out alive. I'll gather up my things in the meantime. I'll meet you outside the tavern.
모세?
I can't leave now.
Fuck you!
We're going to gut you, you horse! Bad luck! Show what you're made of!
이 새끼가 진짜 이씨. 미친놈.
No, you don't! What do you want?
야코프? 누군지 모르겠어. 일단은 문서 훔친 애가 없는 것 같은데. 사람은 없어.
Baruch Hashem, Henry. You're all right.
Sam, you're back already? How does it look outside?
A few of the cutthroats got in over the walls, but we dealt with them. But there are more outside the gate.
4 of them were here in the tavern too.
Fortunately, they didn't take anything important. But your friends paid for it with their lives.
What?
I'm so sorry. If it's any consolation, Henry here has already taken care of those cutthroats.
But they didn't look like they just came to the tavern by chance. Eric must have sent them.
안녕하세요.
What about your mother? Is she alright?
She is, thank God. I told her to get ready, and we would come for her right away.
I'm really sorry about your friends. We got here too late.
There was nothing you could do. Benavis Hamartes. This Eric is really pissing me off. I've never laid eyes on him, yet I cannot wait to wring his neck.
There'll be plenty of time for that later. We have to go now.
I'm sure Mama is waiting for us. We have to take her to the shul.
You go ahead. I'll lock the tavern and block the secret passageway so no one else can get in.
But sir, if any more of them come here,
I can take care of myself. Now go. God be with you.
Henry, my ma is waiting for us. Get her!
어디 가려는 거야? 여기 아니야?
Oh, Himmel! What's the matter? Where's Sam?
Don't worry, ma'am. He sent me to take you to him.
Mein Gott! What happened to him?
Nothing. He's out on the street helping the wounded. Let's go now. We're out of time.
Wait! Who are you anyway?
My name is Henry, and I'm a friend of Sam's. I was the one who warned him Sigismund was coming for you.
Thank you. I just hope we can escape before...
Watch out! More are coming! Run to the back. It might be safer there.
What's going on?
Sam, are you all right?
I'm fine, but we will talk when you are safe. Now run!
We have to get to the synagogue. But how?
Through the backyards. Follow me.
싸움을 진짜 죽는 거 아니야 이거?
Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them! But Hashem, they're gone. We have to keep going. For the guards. Leave us alone! That is Yuda to live! Can you help them?
목이 바꾸느라도
Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them! Hashem, they're gone. We have to keep going. For the yards. Leave us alone! That is Yuda to live! Can you help them?
Toter Mann!
하나는 죽은 거 같은데. 아이씨, 활 쏘지 말고 그냥 가서 조져야 되나?
Watch out! They're shooting at us! Hashem, they're gone. We have to keep going. For the yards.
헤헤. 그냥 개패드 패야겠네 이거. 어떻게든 살린다.
We have to keep going. For the yards. Leave us alone.
Zum Teufel!
Kill them! I forgive you. I've been waiting for you.
아이 나와 이씨. 못 살리나 이거 둘 다? 하. 안에 있는 올 먼저 죽여야 되나 이거?
Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them!
Wanker!
They're gone. We have to keep going. For the yards!
Scher dich zum Teufel! Penis! You won't get it, asshole! Let him have it! Blood, yeah!
오케이. 일단 살렸어.
I cannot.
Give me a moment to recover.
We cannot get past the wagon. We have to go this way. Through the house.
You want to try me? Let him have it over the head.
Mummy.
사뮤엘.
I'm fine. But what about you, my kid?
I'm still alive. We can talk later. Now, we have to go.
살았네요. 쟤는 또 왜 여기 남아 있어?
What is it, fuckers? Rather slaughter women and the defenseless? Let's go!
얘 죽겠는데?
What's going on up there?
너무 많아 숫자가. 후벤카였나 쟤? 보여줘야 돼. 오, 잘 싸우는데? 역시. 오, 그래, 그거야.
Go inside. Quick. To the fucking task.
I've never been so glad to see you two.
그래, 너 죽으면 아까워.
No, I just don't want to die here alone.
재밌나? 악마 동료들은 죽으면 안 돼요. 에릭 이 새끼 왔구나.
There they are. Well, now we're really fucked.
Mustn't get inside. We have to hold them back. For how long, though? As long as we need to.
뒤졌어. 내가 너도 죽인다. 오, 이거 많은데? 칼 보자.
Dead. So, move on, yeah. I'll throw your body. Yeah, don't spare him. I'll throw him, knock his block off. Yeah. Give up. I'll beat you to it. Slice him up. Come on. Come on, everyone's inside.
에릭 새끼 조져야 되는데.
Let's go.
God 먹을 me. Let's go. It's this way. Damn. That was a close shave. I reckon I should go to Samuel's mother and talk to her about Martin. I won't get another chance.
Just leave them here like this.
There's nothing we can do now. We must get the wounded out of here first.
Are we just supposed to bury them by the side of the road?
I am sure the Lord will understand.
근데 저 이름 가진 애들이 되게 많네. 얘도 그렇고. 저게 무슨 그런 건가? 시민 뭐 이런 건가 그래?
Even if that happens, we'll be able to pull the wire.
Are you alright?
I'm fine, lad. I thank you for everything.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Mein Gott, boy. Have you not helped us enough already? Now we have to manage on our own.
I know this might not be the best time, but do you think we could talk about Martin?
What? You know my Martin?
I do. He's, well, he's my father.
Bori Hashem.
I mean, not actually by blood, but he raised me.
Mein Sis Kindele. Tell me, how is he?
He died. It's only been a few months.
Oh, Tehena Shutsura Bitzroir Hayem.
Sigismund burned down my village. Pa went to help Ma, and, well, they both died there.
I am sorry to hear that, lad. But that is the Martin I knew. He always put others first. At least you survived. That would make Martin happy.
I'm sorry I don't have better news to give you.
Do not worry about it. I am just sad he died before he could meet Samuel.
Is everything all right?
Yes, do not worry. We were just talking about Martin.
How did you meet Martin, if I may ask?
It was such a long time ago. He wanted to open a blacksmith shop in town, but there was no place among your people, so he tried.
And that's where he met you?
The rabbi gathered the good men so they could decide whether we wanted to have a goy blacksmith. And Martin wouldn't stop looking at me all night. Then it went schlag auf schlag.
So what happened that made Martin leave you?
My Martin would never leave me. My father found out we were seeing each other and did his best to drive him away. To marry a goy is isur deoraisa, forbidden. But Martin would not give in, and we kept seeing each other, until one day, I was ubore.
That means pregnant.
Yes. My father knew that if word got out, he would not be able to avoid the shame. So he did not miss a beat and took me out of town in secret. I did not even have time to tell Martin the news. I was gone for almost 4 years. In the meantime, my father told everyone that he had married me off. But my husband died. And he only let me come back when he was sure people had accepted it.
Did Martin not go looking for you when you suddenly disappeared?
People said he did go looking for me, even as far as Colin. But he did not find out anything at all.
If only he had gone all the way to Prague.
Even if he went to the very edge of the world, it would not have been enough. Father would have hidden me somewhere else.
And what about you? Did you ever find another man after that?
No. My father called me a widow, so I stayed a widow.
And he didn't try to find anyone else for you?
You know he did, but it never worked out. I made sure of that.
And did you ever go looking for Martin?
I asked around, but no one remembered anything. Or they chose not to. That was probably my father's doing too. And I could not just leave and go looking for him around the world.
All right. That's about it.
그런
Before you
사연이
go,
있었구나.
Tell me, what was Martin like as a father?
Well, he was strict with me, but not too much. Especially in the forge, he worked me hard. I dream about him quite often. About that last day and what he said to me while we were forging a sword together. He said a life of adventure can be over before it begins. And that blacksmithing might be a dull job, but I keep my head on my neck.
He was absolutely right.
Well, look at me now.
You saved all our lives. Martin would be proud of you. He raised you well.
I'm sorry to keep you this long, but... well, I never thought I'd have a brother, even if not related by blood.
Well, I did not expect that either. And thank you, my almost brother. If it was not for you, I do not know how today would have ended. What are your plans now?
I'll go back to the Devil's Den. To Zizka and the others. We need to figure out what to do next.
I will see you there then. But first, I have to escort everyone to Colleen. I do not want anything to happen to them on the way.
Everything should be all right now.
Take care of yourselves, dear brother. I will see you this time tomorrow at the Devil's Den.
Have a safe journey.
Sei gesund.
그런 사연이
So
있었구나.
many good people were left behind. This does not end here. Those brutes of Sigismund's